A case reviewed. The whole thing occurred late one day in 1977 when the other doctors had left Diagnostic Center to finish rounds everywhere. Pam Charlesworth was finishing an EKG on a patient with chest pain. "It's normal," she said. I shook my head. "Hook him up again, this time exercise him enough to reproduce the pain." A smoldering heart attack could still be there. The treadmill rumbled to life, moving Charlie McCaig, a 48-year-old mail carrier from Lafayette, Georgia, at a progressively rapid rate. Pain reappeared along with sweating and breathlessness. An unusual humming noise from the monitor caused us to look up to see an unexpected run of ventricular tachycardia, rapid, dangerous heartbeat. This was followed by a very long pause in the beat, and then followed by slow, widened beats, and then by a flatline. Surprisingly, Charlie continued to talk for a while, unaware that his heart had stopped. 4 or 5 seconds later, he looked suddenly dumbfounded. It was as if he were about to ask a question. Then his eyes rolled up in his head, and he fell, the treadmill sweeping his body away like so much trash. This reminded me of similar problems occurring in the heart lab where the heartbeat stops for some reason, but amazingly the patient continues to talk for a while. Hitting them on the chest or making them cough repeatedly usually starts them up again so the procedure can be completed as if nothing happened. The CPR technique we used on Charlie has since been modified by employing sequential chest abdominal compressions at a rate of 8 per minute. The artificial breathing technique is the same. Details are available at your local American Heart Association or Red Cross, and the method is listed in the appendix. And I just want to put a missy note in. Again, it's good for everybody to know this kind of information, updated. I was actually able to help save a wonderful lady I love, her life, by CPR. So I would advise everybody who can hear this message to learn CPR. Now going on. With Charlie's head sharply extended, chin toward the ceiling, one of the nurses breathed the kiss of life. Another nurse started the IV for medicines. By then, an underlying block in the heartbeat had appeared on the monitor. That means the heart was not conducting the beat properly, and the temporary pacemaker would be needed for the heart to respond to the CPR. Using a large bore needle, I entered the big vein under the collarbone, then threaded the pacemaker wire in the right side of the heart and attached the wire to a pulse generator box to initiate every beat, not missing a stroke. But blood was spurting everywhere. Whenever I stopped pushing on the chest in order to adjust the pacemaker, the heart would stop, and Charlie's eyes would roll up and again would sputter, turn blue, and begin to convulse. With bare hands, just like you can, I would reach over and start him up again, but this time he was screaming the words, "Don't stop! I'm in hell! I'm in hell!" Hallucinations, I thought. Most victims say, "Take your big hands off of me, you're breaking my ribs." But he was saying the opposite. "For God's sake, don't stop. Don't you understand? Every time you let go, I'm back in hell." When he asked me to pray for him, I felt downright insulted. In fact, I told him to shut up. I said I was a doctor and not a minister and not a psychiatrist. But the nurses gave me that expectant look. What do you do? That's when I composed a make-believe prayer. I made him repeat the make-believe prayer word for word to keep him off my back. Meanwhile, I resuscitated with one hand and adjusted the pacemaker with the other. "Say it. Jesus Christ is the Son of God. Go on, say it," I said. "Keep me out of hell, and if I live, I'm on the hook. I'm yours. Go on, say it." Then a very strange thing happened that changed our lives. A religious conversion experience took place. I had never witnessed one before. He was no longer wild-eyed, screaming, combative lunatic who was fighting me for his life. He was relaxed and calm and cooperative. It frightened me. I was shaken by the events. Not only had that make-believe prayer blown out the blown out the soul of Charlie McKay. But it backfired and got me too. It was a conviction I cannot express even to this day. Since then, Charlie has outlived 3 permanent pacemakers, and it has been difficult to believe that this miserable prayer of mine had opened the road to my own salvation, a spiritual bonus for the simple-minded. The lesson? Don't say make-believe prayers. They can work, and they can dissect your soul like a surgeon's scalpel. And that's what stimulated me to search for the mysteriously missing hell cases. And that presented another problem. Why did all the hell cases never question where they were or why they were sent there? And why did the heavenly cases, on the other hand, wonder if their experiences, on the other hand, let me read the whole sentence again, it's important. Why did all the heavenly cases, on the other hand, wonder if their experiences were bona fide? The quest for answers would prove to be my holy grail. To question those who were about to shake hands with death and those who had been beyond death's door. You know, I want to just put a missy note here. I started putting like a little prayer on my YouTube videos. And I want you to know in my notes where I'm hacked, somebody went and removed that salvation prayer. And I'm used to being messed with like that and don't think much of it. And I knew that a lot of people probably rib me and give me a hard time because it just being that little prayer there. But you know what? You never know. If God's in it, that little prayer just might be the thing. So it's worth taking the time to put it on my videos. Until the next video, God bless you.